Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you. Merry Christmas to everyone out there, to all of you and yours, from my family to your family. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope you're enjoying your Christmas dinners. Hope you're safe where you are and not stuck in an airport. And if you're traveling, please travel safely. I appreciate each and every one of you. As you know, I'm growing the channel, trying to get to that 20,000 mark. You know what to do if you enjoyed the video. Let's get started with today's topic. It's a good topic given what we're dealing with holiday stress, travel, and frankly, what can happen to our emotions while we're through this stressful period. How do we control our tempers? Your plane delayed? People call you and say Christmas has been canceled? Do you feel your temper flaring? Well, guess what? It's a normal, healthy emotion, anger. But often it can flare up a little bit too much and cause issues in our lives. How do we deal with our temper when it flares up? How about take a time out? Yup. If you feel your temper slowly rising, remove yourself from the situation completely if you can. Take a breath, try to count to 10. That method tries to calm you down almost immediately to stop you from reacting in an irrational manner to something. You can definitely solve your problems without a fight. Don't carry your temper. Often people become frustrated by the one thing and end up carrying the anger around with them long after the actual reason is passed. If you don't not liking your job, go to the gym or the library before you go home from work. Take a little bit of time to let the anger pass so the rest of your day is not clouded by it. Practice relaxation techniques. Maybe even keep a journal. Definitely try to take a walk if you're physically able, because exercise in itself is a wonderful stress reliever. The body releases endorphins as we walk. Removing yourself from the situation that's aggravated you, let yourself walk, clear your mind, and get a new perspective. As a sidebar, I used to go visit my cousins, my aunt and uncle, in Pennsylvania with my family. And my cousins and I used to go for a walk because the adults were in the room and we just wanted to depressurize ourselves as teenagers or whatever age we were. Take that walk. It's going to be warm enough in most of the United States. Take that walk. Take a class you enjoy. I'm not kidding. There are so many Zoom things you can find right now, probably free. Type in the hobby you like. If you're interested in airplanes, if you're interested in technology, if you're interested in pets, if you're interested in the beach, whatever your hobby is and you want to get away from it on, you can find something to connect yourself. And yet doing that because you want to connect and change your mindset. Some people, sometimes, can make a stressful conversation even more stressful by having a negative outlook. So temper can flare even worse. Sometimes you have every right to be annoyed, but always try to look at the issue through another perspective. Often, pessimistic thoughts can make everything seem worse than it is. So maybe let's try asking ourselves if we're being a pessimist, an optimist, or if we're slicing it right down the middle, which is the sweet spot, which is the realist. Maybe we want to try to think of funny memories when we feel ourselves coming to that moment of the temper. If you've had a long, stressful day or a situation that's bad, the commute's been bad, rather than coming home and being angry all through dinner, when you feel your temper rising over something small, think of a funny memory maybe that you've had with a family member or friend. Remind yourself that the anger you're having about the situation's temporary, and maybe it won't even matter in a few hours. Don't be silent. Discuss how you feel. If your temper mostly fares with the same person, try speaking to that person differently to help make your point. If your partner doesn't see it the same way you do, you know what? Discuss your feelings rather than putting down the other person, and it's likely that that person and you will stop aggravating each other and you'll try to help each other. An imperative, if you've got a temper and you want to try to control it, don't hold a grudge. Don't waste your time feeling angry about events which are over and unchangeable. It'll make your life much harder in the day-to-day. But it's likely the people you feel angry at don't even think about the issue anymore. Try to shrug off the old arguments and focus on making yourself happy. I'm here to tell you that unfortunately I have a memory for hurt like an elephant. And if Mrs. Stoner raises her voice to me sometimes and I'm not in the right state of mind, it will continue to hear. I'll continue to hear it on everything she says, even if she's kissing me. So you've got to remember that there are ways to break this pattern. What you want to do if you have troubles with your temper, maybe what you want to do is you want to listen to some music. I'm not kidding. If you hate to work out, play the music, because then you're listening to music instead of just exercising. You see, music, while you're doing an unpleasant task, can help reduce and even prevent feelings of anger. You want to try to identify a solution if you can. You know, if we tend to get angry about the same things over and over, we got to work on those things specifically. So, we got to remind ourselves that anger is not a solution. And you know what you've got to do? You've got to know your triggers. Triggers are really important because whether it's politics, whether it's a particular person's tone, whether it's a busy place, whatever it is, there are certain things that aggravate you. Try to avoid those in particular, or even cut them out of your life entirely, those things, for a calmer, less temper-flared life. What you also want to do is you want to try to use as much smile as you can. I'm not kidding. I'm angry with a smile. I understand it sounds counterintuitive, but when your temper flares, the last thing most people want to do is smile. But smiling lowers the body's stress response while also quelling feelings of anger. So when you're hostile in anger, believe it or not, a little smile will bring down the pressure pretty quick. So what we want to do is we want to make sure you look at your environment. You understand that maybe there's an area of your home you get angry in more often than not. Maybe you feel your temper rising at a certain part of town. Do you go to the gym and find yourself angry? Do you go to work and find yourself angry? Ask yourself these questions, because maybe there are some people in those situations you're not comfortable with. Maybe you need to change what you do and how you interact with that situation. Guess what? Maybe you even need to find another place to go where you're not so agitated. Maybe you need to find a place to be alone. You know what? If you find your temper rising and you find it so stressful, find a place you can be alone for a couple minutes. Go in the bathroom, go in the basement, go out back, go in your car. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where it is. If you can have a 60-second count to try to calm yourself down. And I say this to everybody on almost every topic that's significant like this. If you need to, by golly, seek out help. Get help. You might not be able to do it alone. None of us can. And you have to remember, with our Puffco Peak Pro, that a diamond dab of the day can keep a headache and bad temper away. So I would strongly suggest you also find out what medicine, what medication is appropriate for you. You do not want to be smoking that sativa when you're in a bad mood, because it can ramp you up. You don't want to be smoking heavy indica when you're depressed, because it can bring you down and make you feel bad that way. You want to try to strike the balance. The balance is what we're looking for. You want to be, in the words of a 1976 C. Beer, you want to be in the rocking chair. This is the Real Senior Stoner, hoping that we all, during Christmas and beyond, get put in the emotional rocking chair, so we don't have to worry so much about our tempers flaring and about triggers and the horrible stimulus of stress. This has been the Real Senior Stoner. Totally appreciate every one of you. Don't forget, you know what to do if you like the video. Thanks again so much for watching. And again, everyone, Merry Christmas. Have a happy holiday. Enjoy your feasts. And let's find ways to limit our anger and stay calm during this frenzy holiday season. Cheers, everyone.